You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
Bears fans, things are getting interesting in Chicago. According to Josina Anderson, she says this on Twitter. I'm told the Chicago Bears are expected to have interest in Commanders' assistant head coach, offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, among others, with general knowledge that current head coach Matt Eberflus is under evaluation with the team at 4-8 per source. Bears fans, to me, this is so interesting because we've been talking a lot about Jim Harbaugh. We've been talking a lot about how head coach Matt Eberflus is under a microscope and how Kevin Warren is evaluating everything going on within the Chicago Bears organization. That means evaluating not only Ryan Poles, but head coach Matt Eberflus. And we kind of all understand at this point that if Matt Eberflus does not finish the year strong as the Chicago Bears head coach, there is a strong chance that he will no longer be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And I think for me personally, I would definitely be okay with Eric Bieniemy. I think he definitely deserves a head coaching interview. I know that there's been a lot of talks about Eric Bieniemy being a head coach for a long time. And I think at this moment in time, I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to kind of finally slide into a head coaching role. I think he is more than deserving, and here's why. Bears fans, when you look at a coach like Eric Bieniemy, a lot of people like to look at his days as the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, where he had a whole lot of weaponry. Of course, you had Patrick Mahomes, he had Tyreek Hill, he had Travis Kelce, right? He had the best of the best at his position. But I think for me, when I am looking at a guy like Eric Bieniemy, when he left Kansas City and he ended up taking the offensive coordinator job for the Washington Commanders, where obviously the Washington Commanders have not as much talent as the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is obvious at this point. But when he took that position, I think that was him trying to prove a point to all the other teams, right? Saying, hey, I can do it not only in Kansas City, but I can also do it in Washington. And overall, when you're looking at the Washington Commanders, Bears fans, I don't want you to look at the overall Washington Commanders record at 4-9, because I feel like when you look at the Washington Commanders, you have to look more at Ron Rivera as the head coach and not Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator. I feel like ever since Eric Bieniemy has taken over the offensive coordinator duties for the Washington Commanders, they have definitely improved. He has taken Sam Howell and turned him into a very capable quarterback. Yes, Sam Howell. He has taken Sam Howell, and now Howell is number 2 in passing yards in the entire National Football League. They are 10th in total yards. They are 12th in passing yards, 23rd in rushing yards, 22nd in total points, and they are 17th in third down conversion. So ever since Eric Bieniemy has taken over as the Washington Commanders offensive coordinator, the Commanders offense has seen a lot of improvement. And for me, that carries a lot of weight because once again, coming from Kansas City, where you have everything, where you have one of the greatest quarterbacks on the planet today in Patrick Mahomes, you have one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history in Travis Kelce, you had one of the greatest receivers to ever touch the football field in Tyreek Hill, and then you go over to the Washington Commanders where you have Sam Howell as your quarterback. Obviously, Terry McLaurin is a very good receiver, but he's not as good as Tyreek Hill. So basically, that there was a huge talent drop-off in Washington, and he was still able to produce a pretty good offense in Washington and what he was dealt with. Once again, he has turned Sam Howell, Bears fans, into a very capable quarterback. So now let's sit back and imagine what he would be able to do with the Chicago Bears. Let's say you keep Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Sam Howell. You have DJ Moore. I think that's going to be debatable. I think DJ Moore may have the slight edge over Terry McLaurin. You draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Now you have DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr., Justin Fields. You have Cole Kmet still. You have a very good backfield with Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, Deontay Foreman. And then you add Eric Bieniemy, a capable offensive coordinator where he has done it at multiple spots. I think it would be a recipe for success. And this is what we've been talking about right here on the podcast for the last couple of weeks, that if you do move on from Matt Eberflus, you need to find Justin Fields or whoever the quarterback is for the Chicago Bears, a proven offensive coordinator, and that's exactly what Eric Bieniemy is. He has been waiting a long time, Bears fans, for the perfect opportunity. And I feel like Chicago would be the perfect opportunity for Eric Bieniemy to succeed as a head coach because, once again, the pieces are in place. All the Bears need is a capable, offensive-minded head coach that can hopefully take Justin Fields to the next level. And I think Eric Bieniemy will do just that. And don't get me wrong, I understand what a lot of the negative Bears fans are going to say in the comment section on today's video. Well, Keek, I don't want Eric Bieniemy because he's going to be a Matt Nagy 2.0. No, he is nowhere near close to Matt Nagy. Eric Bieniemy is a better offensive mind than Matt Nagy by far. Look at how bad, or look at how much Patrick Mahomes has regressed ever since Matt Nagy has been calling the plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. And once again, my point on Eric Bieniemy, when he left Kansas City and took the offensive coordinator job for the Washington Commanders, he was on a microscope for me. And what he has been able to do with Sam Howell and what he was dealt with in Washington, to me, is very impressive. And of course, he has a really, really good resume as well. Once again, he's a proven offensive mind, and that's exactly what the Chicago Bears need, is a guy like Eric Bieniemy. And we all know that this all lies on these last couple of games for head coach Matt Eberflus. This is just a rumor from Josina Anderson. Obviously, she's hearing things. And of course, I trust Josina Anderson's judgment. I know that she's a very well-respected person in the National Football League. I know that she knows what she's talking about. But I think the Bears will do their due diligence, especially if they do fire head coach Matt Eberflus. I think they will be interested in Eric Bieniemy. I think they will be interested in Ben Johnson. I think they will be interested in Harbaugh because I don't think they want to make the same mistake again. They are trying their best to hopefully make this their last head coaching hire in a while, and they need to bring in a guy that is proven. So to me, if I had to look at the guys that are proven, obviously Harbaugh is still really high on my list, but I would also be okay with Eric Bieniemy. And I think I'd be more okay with Eric Bieniemy than I would be with a guy like Ben Johnson, because Ben Johnson has been in one spot. Obviously, the Lions have a really good offensive line, so that definitely helps. You have a pretty good quarterback in Jared Goff. You have a really good running game in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. You have a really good couple of wide receivers, obviously the headliner being Amon-Ra St. Brown. But when you look at Eric Bieniemy going to Washington once again and making turning Sam Howell into a capable quarterback, and Sam Howell is second in passing yards this season in the entire National Football League. To me, that is impressive. Once again, 10th in total yards, 12th in passing yards. And the Chicago Bears offense has way more talent than the Washington Commanders. And that's not including if the Chicago Bears go ahead and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Eric Bieniemy will be licking his chops to become the Chicago Bears head coach, especially if we keep Justin Fields. Once again, adding Marvin Harrison Jr., you have DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, a good backfield, an improving offensive line, and improving defense. Yeah, I think this will be a beautiful situation in Chicago. But once again, this all lies on the fact on how the season ends for head coach Matt Eberflus. If they look like crap for the remaining 5 games, let's say he only wins 1 out of the next 5 or 2 of the next 5, I think Matt Eberflus will be out. And I think they will start doing their due diligence and interviewing guys like Eric Bieniemy, Harbaugh, Ben Johnson, maybe even a guy like Kellen Moore. But I can guarantee you that the next Chicago Bears head coach, if Eberflus gets fired, will be an offensive-minded head coach. And to me, Eric Bieniemy would definitely be high on my list. So Bears fans, overall, we have to wait and see what actually happens. But if this actually happens, if Matt Eberflus gets fired, would you be okay with Eric Bieniemy being the next head coach of the Chicago Bears? Let me know down below in the comment section. As always, Bears fans, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Better than that, be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.